Hello students and parents, welcome to Medical 360. The NEET results are already in your hand, but there is something very important that you must know, because when you deal with state counselling, it depends on the number of seats that you have at the state level and also the number of students who qualified from that particular state. And that's going to have a major impact in your chance of getting into any medical college through the state counselling. And all of you obviously would want to go through the All India quota seats for some of the best institutions that you have in the country, also get into the deemed universities. But very important and crucial for you to understand what are your chances through the state counselling, because most of the seats are going through the state counselling. And from that perspective, I'm going to talk to you of the kind of qualification that had at each state level, because of which some students from some states would be facing much higher competition, whereas in a few states the competition would be much lesser. Let me explain to you through this video. We're talking about state-wise seat and qualification analysis is what we're doing now, because this is going to have a direct impact in your chance of getting into a medical college through the state counselling. Before I move further, a lot of you students have been asking us for a personal counselling. So the number that we opened for helpline is 8130-3763334. 8130-3763334. Send us a message NEET, and one of our counselors will call you if it's to do with NEET. And also, if you want, please use our the NEET college predictor, because here you just need to input your rank and your score, your category, your state and all. It will possibly tell you all the possibilities of what kind of college you're likely to get into, because we are basing this on what happened last year. And we do subscribe to Medical 360 because we're creating a lot of content to help students here. We in fact partnered with SRM University, which also has a medical college in Tamil Nadu in Chennai. And what we're doing is creating a series of content to help students take a very objective and informed decision. So do subscribe to Medical 360 YouTube channel. Now let's understand what has happened in the NEET. In NEET, the number of students in RE-NEET were registered over 22.79 lakh, but number of students who actually appeared for the examination is only 19.99 lakh, which is almost 10% lesser than what happened previous year. So to that extent, the competition has come down by 10% for sure, because remember, the qualification also is 50th percentile and 40th percentile. So everything will come down accordingly. Now, which means that about 2.78 lakh students did not even appear for the examination in RE-NEET. By the way, they did appear in NEET 22.05, and which has come down to 19.99 lakh, which means that about 2.05 lakh students chose not to appear for the RE-NEET when it was conducted. Now, with this competition coming down by about 10%, the students who qualified also came down from 12.36 lakh to 11.21 lakh. Again, another 10% drop is what you saw. So essentially now what is the competition that you have? Of the students who qualified, 11.21 lakh students for which you actually are dealing with competition. Now from here on, the interesting story starts as far as state counselling is concerned. In state counselling, if in your state most students qualify, it means there is greater competition. And if lesser students qualify, I'm talking the state counselling only, mind you, then it is lesser competition. And what we saw is a varied, data points. In the sense, some states have got very good, qualifications, and in some states it fell dramatically. I'll tell you what are the states which have an advantage as far as people who qualified is concerned, and also some states where even though you might have a good score or rank, you might be, challenged because the number of students who qualified is very high in those states. In that, the first comes Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, though the number of students who qualified was less than 10% lesser over the year, in Rajasthan, it's actually 10% more, 11% more. The number of students who qualified last year was 1,19,865. This year, it's 1,33,140. That's a jump of 13,275 students. So you essentially are going to deal with about 11% more competition this year as compared to last year. And by the way, Rajasthan, as far as I know, did not add any state public medical college. So this Rajasthan will be much more difficult. If you use the college predictor also, as compared to last year, this year it will be much more difficult for you to get into a medical college through the state counselling. Then comes Haryana, where about 1,030 students qualified more. Last time it was 35,592, and this time it's 36,622, a 3% jump. Jammu and Kashmir, what was 24,000 has become 25,000, so a 4% jump. And Nagaland and everything has come up. Like Uttar Pradesh is 80 students also, it's almost similar, right? But these two states, the students of Rajasthan and Haryana, are going to face much bigger competition than what you have last. But that's only just a part of the story. The real story is the kind of advantage that some students have in some states because the number of students who qualified is far, far lesser than what happened last year. Let me explain. In Kerala, last time 73,328 students qualified. This year, 51,782 students qualified. A drop of 29.38% or 21,546. That's a massive, massive drop. So to this extent, the students of Kerala will be having a very good advantage, whoever is qualified. They will have a fantastic advantage because the ranks are going to fall dramatically, which means that even at a higher rank or a lower score, you will have a greater possibility of getting into a medical college in Kerala. Then follow Maharashtra, 15% drop. There is a drop of 18,423 students in Maharashtra. Last time, 1,25,727 students qualified. This time, 1,07,304 students qualified. With that, what you're dealing with is about 18,423 students is a drop in terms of number of qualifications. That is about 14.65% or 15%, let's say. So your chances of getting into a medical college through the state counseling are improved by 15% at least. Then comes Karnataka. Karnataka also saw a massive drop of 21.15%. Last year it was 83,582 students qualified. This year 65,901 students qualified. This means a 17,681 students drop in terms of the number of qualifications, which means that you have far better chance of getting into a medical college in Karnataka state counseling if you're, of course, a domiciled student of Karnataka, because the number of students whose competition for you has fallen dramatically. Then comes Tamil Nadu. What was 76,181 has dropped to 61,306. A drop of 19.53 or 20%. 14,875 students dropped out. Again, the students of Tamil Nadu will be benefited, though whoever has been qualified, they'll be benefited because of this. Then comes Bihar. What was 80,954 has become 68,968, a drop of 11,986, or close to 12,000 seats. That's a 14.81 or 15% drop. And again, a fantastic, fantastic opportunity for whoever is qualified here, because the closing cutoff ranks are going to be much, much higher than what it was last year. Then comes Gujarat. 50,000 has become 38,000, a drop of 24%. That's a massive drop. Just imagine what's likely to happen here. 11,894 students have dropped out of the qualification race, right? And because of that, again, students of Gujarat will be having a very good advantage. Then comes West Bengal. 59,000 has become 52,746, a drop of 6,272 seats, a drop of 11%. So these states have very, very good advantage if you're qualified. So what we're trying to tell you is that, listen, it's not just about what happened last year, but you must also factor in the number of students who qualified from the state when you're talking of getting into a state medical college, right, through the state counseling. What at some point in time you also need to relate it to the number of seats increase also. If the seats have increased by 20% and the qualification has gone down by 20%, just imagine what will happen. You will have a 40% better chance of getting into a medical college through the state medical counseling seat. And we'll talk about that also very soon. We're just collating at this point in time the seats that have increased between last year and this year, that too in public institutions and private institutions, because that is very important, right? So we're going to do that also very soon. But what we're trying to tell you here is that some of the states have students of some states, and these are students who qualified through the NEET, have a very, very good advantage because the qualification rates itself from your state has fallen, and to that extent you're going to face lesser competition, and to that extent you'll have a better chance of getting into a medical seat. If you want to talk to any of a counselor to understand this more, or anything for that matter, send us a message on this number 8130376334. Send us a message NEET, and we'll be having a counselor call you up. Do use a college predictor, the NEET college predictor. It will help you understand what are your chances of getting into a medical college. And do subscribe to Medical360, because we're creating a lot of content to ensure that you take a very informed decision as far as your career path in medical and allied sciences is concerned. And this we partnered with SRM University, which is based in SRM IST, which is based in Tamil Nadu. They also have a medical college with many, many life and allied sciences programs at undergrad and postgrad level. Do look out for them. If you want me to cover anything else here, please write to me in the message box here. I'll be happy to cover that for you. Thank you so much. Namaste.